All right, first things first, I'm babysitting these kittens. And second thing second, I'm gonna show you today all the places that I got accepted to and denied from and interviewed at, and a few of my stats that are relevant to that. So let's get into it, huh guys? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick run through of my grades, we're gonna do a quick run through of my MCAT and my activities, and then we're gonna jump into the schools that I got accepted to, waitlisted from, etc., etc. So I pulled in a few of my APs from high school. I didn't do outstandingly well on those tests, but thankfully I didn't really have to present that, so that's sick. The next thing is my grades. So I got a C in my grades, and that sucks and it's annoying, but don't worry about it, you can recover from it, all right? So you can take a look here. I started to get more A's as I went on in my career, and it seems that most people do that. And med schools like to see that too, that upward trajectory. So the next thing that we're gonna jump into, I went to UC Santa Cruz for the relevance of that, if it is relevant at all. And then here we get to my overall statistics and my MCAT. So in terms of my overall statistics, freshman year, I had 3.56. Yeah, killing it. Sophomore year, 3.93. Junior year, 3.92. Senior year, 3.99. And one of the reasons that I was able to really pick my GPA up, as I mentioned in previous videos, is because I was able to do some extra tutorial classes. Well, it's not the only reason, but I did some extra tutorial classes by assigning a research class as part of my coursework. So I'd recommend you do that if you're doing research while you're going to undergrad or university. You could try and do that. However, I think most of the people watching these videos are probably out of that area of their life. In terms of my Mcat score, I had a total of 516. I was in the 92nd percentile. My score was a 129 in chem, and blah, 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 and 127 in cars, 130 in biology and biochemical foundations, and 130 in psychology, blah, 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 that one. So my community service stuff, sorry, I'm going over this really fast because I know you don't really care about it that much and you just want to see where I got into, but you also want to compare me with yourself, I'd imagine. So community service and volunteering, I had a total of 105 hours doing that. I was a researcher in biotech, almost 2,000 hours of that. Volunteering with the visually impaired, 235 hours. Ophthalmic assistant, 900 hours. Bonsai gardening, 250 hours. I had some awards that I put on here. I got highest honors in the major, which I think honestly is just probably a consolation prize for not getting summa cum laude, but whatever. Anyway, retinal technician in optometry, 1,450 hours. Undergraduate research scholarships. Emergency medicine club volunteer. Microbiology and toxicology research, that was my undergrad research, 1,100 hours. Hobbies, surfing. Again, really, Brian? 940. They want to see that you do something interesting. It gives them something to talk about during your interviews, which is great. So put down something interesting like that. It's just fun to have something that you're going to be able to communicate with somebody, but this isn't the point of the video, so let's keep moving. Clinical observation and shadowing, only 40 hours of that. But then again, I did have all that time being an ophthalmic assistant, which more than made up for that, I believe. And then volunteering with the visually impaired and during the summer of college. Sorry, 20 hours of that. Community service volunteering. Let's get into the meat of this. This is the schools that I actually applied to. We got Albany Medical College, Albert Einstein College of Medicine, California North State University College of Medicine, California University of Science and Medicine, Columbia University of Lagos, Emory University School of Medicine, Frank H. Netter, that's Quinnipiac, Geisel, George Washington, Georgetown, Kaiser Permanente, Pasadena, Keck School of Medicine, Pennsylvania State. No one says that. Sidney Kimmel Medical College at Thomas Jefferson. Why are medical schools' names so stupid long? It's just ridiculous. Like, just make it what people call it.
University of Utah, Stanford, Brown, Tufts, Tulane, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UCLA, UC Riverside, UC San Diego, UC San Francisco, University of Colorado School of Medicine, Carver College of Medicine, University of Miami, Miller School of Medicine, Rochester, Washington, and Virginia Tech.
So those are all the places that I applied to. Now, which of the places that I got accepted to and I got denied to with my statistics? Let's jump into it. Again, I had a 3.85 and a 516, I think. Albany College of Medicine, denied. Albert Einstein College of Medicine, denied. North State, denied. I ended up getting an offer for an interview at the California University of Science and Medicine. I denied them because I had already get accepted by a better university, which we'll go into in a bit, that I would be more willing to apply to. Columbia, denied. Emory, denied. Quinnipiac, I ended up getting an interview with Quinnipiac. So Quinnipiac's in Connecticut, right? So I went and did some interviews with them. they ended up accepting me. So that was super cool. Woo, accepted. Giesel, denied. George Washington, denied. Georgetown, denied. Casa Permanente. That was actually in my hometown, so I knew I stood better chances of getting an interview there as a result of it being open in my hometown of Pasadena. Denied. Mcat School of Medicine, also in Los Angeles where I'm from. Denied. Penn State, denied. Sidney Kimmel, denied. Spencer Fox, University of Utah. I screwed up. I didn't actually get their secondary application into my brain. It got into my email, not into my brain, and I did not fill it out in time. That was my mistake. Don't make that mistake, guys. Much love. Make sure you fill out your secondary applications and mark them, put them in an Excel sheet. Stanford, I don't even have to say it. I got denied there. Brown University, denied. Tufts, denied. Tulane, denied. UC Davis, denied. UC Irvine, denied. UCLA, denied. UC Riverside, denied. UCSD. They ended up putting me on a list for being like waiting for an interview, right? So they were like, we're gonna interview him. They didn't interview me. So denied. UCSF, denied. Colorado, denied. University of Iowa. It was super sad because I really wanted to go there, but I ended up getting an interview there actually. It was the only in-person interview, I believe, in the entire United States. I flew there, right? I flew to Iowa, and I ended up getting in. And that's where I'm going, baby. I'm going to University of Iowa, Carver College of Medicine, and I could not be happy. I friggin' cried my eyes out like a little baby boy when I got in that school. It was so thrilling to get into medical school after years of culmination of hard work, finally paid off. Continuing on here. University of Miami Leonard, denied. University of Rochester. Okay, interesting story here. So I interviewed with the University of Rochester and I got on their wait list. This was actually pretty contentious. I had to decide between Carver or waiting to see if I got into the University of Rochester. The interviews at both places were really, really excellent. However, Rochester was first, and that's the other thing, guys. You're gonna get better at interviewing. You can do all the practice you want, but once you start to get into the rhythm of it, you're gonna start getting better. Don't wear a red tie. Just saying, I wore it at Rochester. I wish I wore like a blue one or a black and blue one or something like that. Piece of advice here, if you get waitlisted at school and you get accepted at school, take your time, wait it out. I think I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, accepting Carver like that. And I would suggest that if you get waitlisted at school, wait a little bit into the cycle. Like, there's no need to jump on it and make the decision. And I was on the waitlist at University of Rochester, and time was continuing, and I was like, you know what? I want to go to Iowa. Iowa had excellent vision research programs. Their graduates are really successful. Imagine did a lot of competitive residencies. They have a really good success rate on the USMLE tests. So yeah, continuing on with our list here, University of Washington, denied. Virginia Tech, denied. So all those schools sent me secondary applications, and I want you to remember that. You're gonna get a secondary application from every single school that you apply to. Why? Because they're making so much money off of you. That's the only reason, unless you have a fee waiver or something along those lines. Realize for a moment, like, you are going to get all the secondaries you sent out to. So in total, I don't know how to add. So this is something like 30-something schools, 31 schools. Yeah. After applying to 31 schools, I received secondaries from all of them. I got interview invitations from 4 of them, and I got waitlisted, accepted, and then the last one was me denying them, which again is the most satisfying feeling in my life, is to be like, excuse me, medical school, I deny you. I know you want to interview me and talk to me, but I ain't got time for that. Honestly, it was just because I got into another school that I was more stoked to go to and was going to cost me far less money. And it's also new, whereas the University of Iowa is quite well established and it had the program that I was interested in going into, which was ophthalmology. Not to talk bad about that school, it's an excellent school, and it's going to produce a lot of wonderful doctors in the future. That is a video that is specifically explaining these schools that I applied to, I got waitlisted at, and yada yada yada. So, much love, thank you for coming to my channel. I'm going to go make sure those kittens have not killed anyone. All the best!